Right, welcome back. So we've completed the skin. What I've done off camera is just tidied up the grey cere on the tabards and the backs and the fronts of them. Yeah, we're going to do that next. I'm going to hit that same as the rest of the tabards and things on the rest of the models. I'm going to go with Flesh Terrors Red. Just straight out the part, Flesh Terrors Red. And jabbed it in. Just being careful not to get it on the skin, because obviously we don't want to have to be repainting that now. If you do, just try and tidy it up quick as you can. Just avoid any random red bits. Don't want them knocking around. Looks a bit weird. Although saying that, it might look okay around the scars. Give it a bit more a freshly cut look. I'm going to get in focus for a start. I'm going to get in there and then draw it back out. Same on this side. So now we've gone over sorry, focus. There we go. So now we've gone over the tabard with, what did we say? Flesh Terrors Red. Leave that to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to go around and pick out all the hair, fur, whatever you want to call it, with Corvus Black. Shouldn't have to tidy this up afterwards. Painting it back to the undercoat, the grey cere. Shouldn't have to worry about that, but we're just very carefully when we get to the skin. You see that? When we get to the brown of the skin, we just carefully bring it back so we're not painting it with the black. Something like that. Both sides of it, obviously. We got this one. Something like that. There's a whole mass of hair on this side. Assume that's hair. Assume it is. Tip of the tail. We do have hair right on the face, so I'm just going to carefully pick out the beard. I suppose it's a beard, isn't it? All the way up to the face, and then round to the ear. Just get that outline first, and then fill it in afterwards. Now I can see a bit of a chin. We've got a bit of a metal decoration in there. So not worry about the metal at the minute. Get the hair around it. He's got an earring, this guy. Rather than leaving a solid straight line where the hair meets the rest of the skin, try and stagger it a bit, or feather it, I suppose is the right technique, to make it look like it's a bit more natural. Get under the chin as well. You're not going to see it, but it's going to look weird if you see a white spot from the side. And then obviously we've got the hair going down the centre. So again, carefully get in there. Just carefully. Try not to get out on anything else. I think what I'm going to do is just carefully go along this at the edge, so closest to the brown skin, and then afterwards I'm going to get a bigger brush out and work it into the recesses. And that gives me a bit of a border to work to. Get the bigger brush. Excuse me. Excuse me. Get the bigger brush, and there we go. Bit easier. I haven't got a hard edge that I need to worry about spilling over. If you were neat enough and you wanted to, you could do this with Black Legion or Black Templar, whichever black contrast you've got. That would give you a nice solid base coat for this, and it would speed things up a bit, because you wouldn't really have to do much of a highlight either. Maybe just a quick dry brush, but to be honest, that's all we're going to do on this. Just a quick dry brush on it. Is that a hair that I've missed? It is hair that I've missed. There we go. I thought that was a horn, but it's not, it's hair. So take your time, go around, pick out all the hair, paint it what you call this black. Or Black Legion or Black Templar, whichever black you've got. To be even, what was it called? Abaddon black. That would work as well. Any black, really. Even if you haven't got a GW black, Vallejo or Army Paint or whatever. It would work. Because it's black. just noticed this guy's got hairy ears. So we're going to go back to our smaller brush and just carefully pick it. They're not actually his ears, but they might as well be. Just pick out that bit of there between the horns and the ear, and then on the back do the same. Is that hair? I suppose it is. He's one hairy guy. Alright, carefully go around, pick it all out, leave it to dry. So, all the black is done. That's nicely drying. The tabards are now dry. And I'm going to take some Wild Rider Red. And am I going to take some Wild Rider Red? I might just take some Mephiston. Yeah, let's go with Mephiston first. No, I'm going to changing my mind. Changing my mind a lot tonight. Evil Sun Scarlet. We'll go with Evil Sun Scarlet because it's nice in between the two. Get that out of the way. Take a little bit of that, and we're just gonna light edge highlight basically the tabard. Just use the edge of your brush. Well, you're just a camera, so it's not always out of focus, not always out of shot. Alright, where am I comfortable? I think I'm comfortable there. Am I comfortable there? Let's try it a little bit more. Yeah, I'm comfortable there. Now, focus. There we go. Let's try this. Still getting to grips with the camera. Obviously, the better it's in focus, the better it'll be, the more we'll be able to see. Too much on the brush. So let's come down like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just give the impression that it's highlighted. Try and pick out some of these bits, some of the edges of the cloth. Curve there. Obviously, the more you do this, the easier it will become. I am awful at edge highlighting, but I try my hardest. And a lot of the time I end up just doing something like this just to give the impression it's been highlighted rather than actually highlighting it. Although that looks okay. I'm not going to highlight, let me show you on this one. No, that's a bad example. This one. So as you can see under there, I'm not going to highlight that because that's in shadows, so it's very unlikely to catch the light. Excuse me. So I'm just going to highlight the edges of it and leave the bit underneath. And nobody's really going to look at that either. That was really sharp. I picked it up weirdly. Right, what are we doing next? Now the black hair is still drying, so we'll leave that for the time being. But I will take some Iron Warriors and we're going to pick out the axe head and the bits that we want silver. Now I thought originally that I would do it opposite way around, so I'd do like brass on this bit and then silver trim, but to be honest I'm not sure. But I'll do it, see what happens, and pick out the axe head first. Nice big axe head, and I picked this one of the smallest brushes I own to do it. Never mind, we're there now. Halfway there, we've got two sides. Do both sides, remember? Yeah, all the nooks and crannies. So, onto shoulder pads and metalwork for this guy. Got some rune brass. We're going to make them bronzy, coppery, brassy look. Like I said before, I'm going to go give the trim the silver look just to invert it and be different. And go along like this. I'm not going to be neat at this stage because this is all going to be metal anyway, so it's fine. Both shoulder pads. All the nooks and crannies. Get that in there. Remember, get underneath the shoulder pads as well. You're not going to see it, but you don't want it to be white or grey sear. So just putting a base coat on it is going to be better than leaving it blank. Obviously be very careful when it comes to getting close to the skin. Turn it upside down if you need to. Get all the bits where you need to. I'm also going to paint this bit brass. Try not and get it on the silver, but if I do, I'll just touch it up afterwards. Because it's inevitable, I will do it. there's another on there as well. I haven't done the silver on this one. Again, I will probably end up finding bits that I want silver or bits that I've missed along the way and bits that I want brass coloured along the way. So if I do find them, I will just paint them as I go. It might be towards the end when I'm just doing the final touches, but paint as I go. Try and get as much of it as I can, but I will undoubtedly miss some. Alright, these little round things as well, I'm going to get them, being careful not to get any on the red cloth. So I'm done with that at the minute. I don't want any more colour changes on that. There's a tiny bit there. Goes up in there. And if you do get it on the cloth, it's not the end of the world. Just paint over it again. Got these ones on the back as well. Right, continue going around all the bits where I want the brass, get them all done. So now I've gone over all the bits that I want brass, let it dry. I'm going to take some Collier green shade and give it a wash. Now this is going to be a bit messy, so we'll try and be as neat as possible. Go over the shoulder pads first because that's easy. Work it into the recesses. Treat it like a normal wash, really. I'm not even sure you can get Collier green shade anymore, to be honest. This should hopefully give us, well, it will give us an aged verdigris look without too much effort. We could verdigris it up afterwards, but why? We'll do it now. Oh, excuse me. Over all the rest bits that we've done. Careful of the skin, careful of the bits that you've already painted. If you get too much on, just spread it about or mop it up. Whichever one's more appropriate. It's a bit heavy there, look. We can move it about. Get it over here. It still hasn't gone into that little crevice. I've done a little detail on the axe head. Both sides. So yeah, get this all over, let it dry, and then we're going to lightly dry brush back over the Rune Lord brass with Rune Lord brass where we can. Obviously we're going to be very, very careful not to get it on the skin, not to get it on the red, not too worried about the silver. So yeah, be very, very careful. So yeah, go over all of that, and we'll come back when it's dry. So now the Collier green shade has dried. We're going to take Rune Lord brass, not that one because that one's awful. Rune Lord brass, there we go. Don't know why that one was still on the table, to be honest. Rune Lord brass, and we're going to dry brush it over the brass areas that we've already done. And then we're going to take Sycorax bronze, and we're going to do the same with that, leaving some of the Collier green shade in the recesses. There we go. Just you can go as heavy or as light as you want with this. Just be careful not to get it on the skin where we've already finished. If you do, dry brushing is a little bit hard to clean up, so you just have to repaint the skin a bit. Now going over that bit as well. Get on the horns. Getting the belt buckle. Careful not to get it on the red as well. Now the little round things at the bottom there, just carefully get them. Not too worried about them ones in there, but we'll get these ones best we can. Just the bottom bits. I think there's all the brass areas. So that's the Rune Lord brass. We'll take the Sycorax bronze and we'll just do the same again. Load your brush up, wipe the majority of it off. And then just catch the edges with this, because you don't need a great deal, and it's just see, I've got it on the arm now. I'm going to have to paint that again. Never mind. It's got a shiny arm. That is your Sycorax bronze done. Clean the brush off. What we're going to do next is all the hair. And that's going to be dry brushing as well. So take a dry brush if you've just cleaned that one off. I'd use a different brush because that one's got metallics on it, so we don't want any metallic pigment left over. Excuse me, getting on non-metallic bits. So what I'm going to do is take some Dark Reaper and dry brush the hair with it. So, as before, load up your brush, work into the bristles, and then we just, should be nice and easy because this is nicely textured. Just pick out like that. Get a nice good coverage on it. Carefully get in the gaps, in the recesses without getting on the skin. It's not going to show up so much if you get this on the skin. Just knocked a rock off, but never mind. A little bit heavier. Butterfingers. Carefully get his beard. He's got the tip of his tail. Got the back of the feet. Right, instead of washing our brush this time, I'm going to get rid of the Dark Reaper, because I've done that. I'm going to take some Rust Grey and just go over the hair again. But I'm going to wipe off my brush as much as possible. Because this is such a lighter colour, definitely don't need as much of this. Just enough to highlight it as such. There we go, nice subtle highlight. Now I'm going to take it a little lighter because what we're going to do afterwards is just knock it back a bit with some knoll oil. Get in there, get in there. So if you do take this a bit too light, or lighter than you want, you can definitely knock it back with knoll oil, or Agrax shade for that matter, although knoll oil would work better in this case because it's black wash. Get that bit there, and then that bit there, and then yeah, I'm ready to wash that brush, so I'll stick that in there. Get rid of the tissue, put that away. Knoll oil. I'm going to take the knoll oil and we're going to go over all the hair bits that we've just done. If you do go on the skin with this, it's not a bad thing. In fact, I would probably recommend just overlapping the skin a touch. See that? Just a touch, just to say this is where your hairline is. Obviously you don't want it to pull in any weird places, so just keep an eye on that. Down that centre part in as well. On that bit. Even though I didn't get all this hair around here, I'm still going to wash it just to tie it all in together. There we go. All the hair done. Now that is the hair completely done. I'm happy with that, how that's come out. So what I'm going to do next, take some Agrax Earthshade and go round the silvers. Do I want to do that just yet? No. No, I think I don't want Agrax Earthshade at all. What I'm going to do is take some of our metallic colour and pick out the trim around the shoulder pads. So any other silver bits that we want, like that chain there, there's a few buckles dotted around the place. We're going to get the emblem in here, like so. We're going to go around this trim, nice and careful not to get it on the brass that we've just done. Go around the whole thing, pick out any silver details you want, any additional silver details you want that we've already done. So with all the silver touched up, I've also gone round with some grey cere and picked out, well, tidied up the horns, the bandages and the leather bits, the hooves. What else have I done? The haft of the weapons on this one as well. Yeah. So what I'm going to do next, take some Corvus Black and I'm going to pick out all the leather strapping. So not the bandages, just the leather strapping around his belt. So around here, all the way around his waist. I'm going to pick out all these gubbins as well, not the weapon haft. I'm going to pick out the scabbard as well. What else? These straps here. Carefully on them once. Straps across his chest, straps across his back. Any other straps really that I want black. Yeah, we're going. I'll see you in a minute when I've done them. With all the leather straps now complete, well, undercoated in Corvus Black, I'm going to leave them to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to take some Agrax Dunes and go over the bandages and the other leather straps on the tail and the ankle. Yeah, do that. Get in there like that. Try and be as neat as possible with these. It doesn't matter too much if they go splash over onto the skin because it kind of blends in a bit. Good solid base coat on these helps with the Agrax Dunes as well. I haven't done a very good solid base coat on these, so take your time with that bit. Get that right, and then this bit will look right. There we go, go around all your bits. With Agrax Dunes. Some more of a leathery look. Don't want the leather to be brown because that would blend in with the skin too much. So we'll do this. Strap it as pale leather. Got that leg as well. Any other strappy bits? No. Right, that's done. Put the Ogroid tunes away and take skeleton horde, and I'm going to go over the horns, any teeth, any claws, bits like that. One that want picking out. I just realised I haven't undercoated or re-undercoated the teeth on this guy. So get the horns. There we go. Such a wonderful colour, skeleton horde. Again, get your undercoat right for this bit, and it will be a nice, good coverage with this. And I've just realised as well that I've missed 2 horns on his forehead. Never mind. We'll touch them back up when we do the teeth. Do the same. So I'll undercoat them again with grey cere, and then go over them with the skeleton horde. Get in there. There we go. So go over any bones, any skulls, any horns, any teeth, any claws that you want this colour. Do our usual base skulls this colour right now. Seems like a lifetime when I start at these now. I've forgotten how to do my bases. Just doing ball brown, I think, and some washes. Did I highlight the skulls? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. That isn't actually a skull, but I'm going to paint it as a skull. It's more of a token, but we'll paint it as a skull. Right. Right, we'll leave that to dry for a few minutes because it's very wet at the minute, and we'll be back in a second.